Hey guys, what's up? Just doing another quick video, kind of talking about common sense, right? So say like you go in a parking lot and you go park way in the back. There's like 100 spaces and you're in between all of them. Empty spaces. You go into the store, you come out and someone's parked right next to you. It's like that kind of common sense that only an NPC wouldn't understand. And they'd be parking right next to you because for some odd reason, it's either they know they're an NPC or they don't. And that's just how asleep their head is. It's almost as if they can't help themselves. They have to follow a certain script. And they probably don't even realize they're following it. They just randomly do it. And they must have some sort of reasoning in their head. But that's how scripted their reasoning is. It's so no common sense, right? And you wouldn't be able to get it because to you wouldn't do that. You just wouldn't. You couldn't even come up with a reason to do it. But outside of yourself and others that are probably the awakened ones, they wouldn't park next to somebody when there's 200 spaces to choose from. You could be on a hot summer day and there could be like several spaces with a tree and shade, and you can go park your car in the middle of the parking lot in the baking sun with no shade, and somebody would still park right next to you. Like, how weird is that? Like, what is that? I've never waited around to talk to anybody to try to see if they, what kind of reasoning they would have, you know? Like I've never waited around to waste my time to find out, but I don't know, maybe I should wait around and find out. I mean, has anyone just sat there in their car waiting for the person to come out and go to their car and be like, you know, you ever confront anyone and say, excuse me, what was your reasoning for parking right here next to me out of the 200 spaces? I don't get it. You know, I'm in a park because have this thing going on, and but I have this time and I'm sitting in my car. 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to the left of me, completely in shade. 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right of me, completely in shade, but the person parked right next to me. This is why it came up in my mind right now to talk about it. I'm just kind of like, I've never figured out what that is. It's just always going to be a baffling situation, like, you know, thing to happen. It's just weird. And I've always had that happen to me. You know, go figure. I don't get it. I don't know. Anyway, I really was just going to talk about the strangeness of life, in the sense, like, and it probably falls into the NPC category but the strangeness of life, of like how we give meaning to everything around us. It's, you know, we give meaning to a lot that's going on around us, and the meaning we give to it sometimes is not just of what it is and what it means to us. It can be a feeling of overwhelming anxiety, or, you know, we can make ourselves worry because we give things too much concern, and we create this meaning behind it, and We can be the creators of our own, like, experience. And that goes with, you know, being the creators of our own experience. It goes into the idea that you have control to create your reality. But with our control of or experience that we create around us, how many of us really have control over it, like to control our reality, to make things happen that we want to have happen? I think it's probably easier than we think, but we create it to be harder than we think. And then with all the drama in this world, with all the stuff that occupies our head, just from, the news and drama and entertainment, the news and drama around our sports, the news and just with sports and entertainment in itself is it's entertainment. It's there to captivate you and to keep you locked in to that experience, and kind of to take you away, to take your mind off of all the crap that goes on in the world around us that we don't like. So now there's entertainment and there's music and there's whatever. It's all there to take your mind off of reality. But so how much of this world, it's there just constant, like how much are we so immersed in the things that take our mind off of reality? We are so immersed in it. And we probably don't realize just how immersed we are in this world that is occupying our minds in supposedly a good way, like a entertainment and trying to make you feel good, but it's actually bad. But we give into it. And then we're constantly just not creating a good reality for ourselves most of the time. Or we create our own inner stress. We create our anxiety. We can be the creators of our depression. I mean, there's people with good jobs and good money and have a lot of good things, materialistic things in their lives, and sometimes it's hard to see through what you have, and you can create your own depression. And then this world of entertainment and this hypnotic trance world trying to keep you occupied, your brain occupied, we're constantly wanting more. We're constantly needing more materialistic things. And we may say that I don't need very much money. I don't need this. But reality is you would accept it. You would take it. Of course you would take the money. You would take millions of dollars if you would take everything this life could give you like that. So therefore, subconsciously or deep down, we really do want everything we can get our hands on. We want to keep up with the Joneses. We want to surpass the Joneses. We want more. We're very, humans are very, excess, oriented. It's hard not to be. And I don't know what I'm getting at. I'm just here at the park and just thought I would kind of talk about some of that, but then someone parked right next to me and I started kind of like thinking like, what in the heck? Went off on the NPC thing and kind of lost my train of thought of what I was going to talk about. But anyway, it's still the NPC is part of this whole thing too, because who are the Joneses that we're always constantly trying to keep up with, or we want to compare ourselves with, and we want more, and we compare ourselves to people and wish we had, and we're seldom satisfied. I mean, how many of you out there are actually truly, honestly satisfied? I mean, feel free to comment on those things. Feel free to comment, say just how good life is and satisfied you are. I mean, because I think a lot of people say they are, but they're really not satisfied with life. They're constantly, judging others, judging themselves, judging their predicaments, and wanting more. And strangely, we could want more out of life. We could want more time with our children. We could want more time with our spouses or significant others. We could want more time with family. We could want more time with work. Some people really put themselves into work, and they need more time. They want more time because maybe they're single and they don't have much else outside of that. But either way, we're constantly wanting more of all sorts of stuff. But this world creates this land of convincing you to be part of that. Be part of that needing more and constantly wanting personality. This world builds it. So if it's doing that, propaganda, what does it do it with? Commercials, with even on the news and our movies. You ever see, you see movies, you watch these movies and they show the house the characters of the movie live in. And a lot of them, houses average people could never afford. I mean, you don't think that gets in your head after seeing movie after movie after program? It makes you think this stuff, And how about back in the 40s or 50s, people didn't upgrade even probably the 80s, people did not upgrade their houses like they do now. That's why if you look at photos of the 80s and 70s and you look at those homes, they look a little funky. Furniture doesn't match, and strange pictures on the wall, odd painting. But it's because people didn't worry about that stuff. It wasn't so much on the radar. You wanted things, but it wasn't, you didn't have access to it. So your home was always left kind of funky. The best you could do is maybe get a pool, and that was like the big thing. When I was growing up, and that was it. If your neighbor got an in-ground pool, oh my God, you wanted an in-ground pool. That was a sign of success. And as kids, we knew that. We were just like, Mom, Dad, can we get an in-ground pool? We want a pool. Had no idea how much it cost to actually upkeep a pool. Didn't even care, Money meant nothing to us as children. But now, man, today, 2024, it is like, man, you're never done upgrading. At least for me, there's always something to upgrade, to fix, to make better, from landscaping to, home repairs, and upgrade the kitchen, upgrade the bathroom, right? Everybody wants the nicest kitchen and the nice bathroom, and everybody, and it always looks the same as your neighbors type thing. Everybody copies each other. So weird. And just money going out the door. Just constantly spending money. That's all we do as people. We complain about saving, and we just constantly spend. just weird. It's a weird, it's a mental thing, you know? It's mental. Because you want to keep up with the Joneses, or whatever picture you have in your head. And so you spend and spend and spend. Never satisfied. Never satisfied. And so if we're in control of our reality, how does that show that we're controlling it? Why do we buy into that whole scenario? Holidays today? Unbelievable. Back in the day, you put up one strand of Christmas lights and you were done. Right? Now you have to have mechanics, you got to have the music out there, the fake snow blowing, and you got to have inflatables. Because that's been the new thing for years now is, get inflatables. Now you got to have the mechanical Santa, and you have to have the snow and the music, and then all the decor outside. It's just money. Like, that's like tons of money. Just for really a day. You're celebrating a day, and you do all that for one day. I mean, what is that? And because it's only one day and that's a lot of money to spend, you celebrate it over freaking like 2 months. You start like after October now. I mean, it's to justify it, right? I don't get it. It's so much money, and the kids, they love it. As children, you love it. You want to be part of it. And then the parent wants to supply that to the child to make the child happy. And now the kid's controlling what the parents do with their money. That, like I was saying, like as kids, we had no idea what money really is or what it means. You could say it's expensive. You could show them the numbers. That's $1 million. The kid has no clue what $1 million is. They think you could still afford it and get there. And that's what we do as people. We're trying to satisfy a insatiable appetite, needing more and more. And we're happy to fall for all the gimmicks and propaganda of buy more stuff. We love to fall for it. We're so weak, we give in to it so easily. And then we convince others that they should be doing the same. If you don't do that, you're an Ebenezer Scrooge. I mean, they started this a long time ago with that movie. Do you see what they're convincing you of? And then they pull on your heartstrings with the Tiny Tim, the crippled boy. I mean, it's just crazy. But that's the world controlling you, and it's creating the world for you. And it's keeping you so mentally occupied that you don't create the world for yourself. You see, that's the problem with this whole, you are the controller of your universe. You can manifest whatever you want. You can do this. You are your creator. Rightfully so, yes, you probably are. Yeah, there's some, sure, why not? You're here. You don't know anything else beside this. It's a choose your own adventure life. You can make the choices that you want. And it probably could be a lot better world if you start making the choices that you want to make. Again, as long as you're following the rules of the game, don't hurt others, right? And be kind and support your fellow game players in this choose your own adventure life. Be supportive, be helpful. And then maybe you can free your mind and start controlling your life the way you want to control it. Start doing the things that you want to do. And maybe then we'll start finding satisfaction. I think we could probably find satisfaction that way. And our appetites will lessen, and we won't be as so We won't be so hungry for what others have. You know, you can start finding peace with what you have because it's what you want and what you're chasing after and like what you're creating. I mean, what better way to go through this world in this life? I just don't think it's very fun to go around and try to copy your neighbors and what they have. And I don't think it's very fun to go around judging other people or trying to judge yourself based on what others have. I think it's that occupies your mind so much, taking away the world from you. And so it's so important for us to realize that and get to disconnect and just start living your life. Start making your choices. You know, you don't want to celebrate and put up Christmas lights. I know it's hard if you have children or whatever. Okay, so I'm not going to argue that point. But any other reason, then don't do it. You know, you don't feel like celebrating a certain holiday, don't do it. You don't want to spend money on certain things, but why do you need a 65-inch TV? Just get a 32-inch TV for a couple of bucks. And why need so much, and why be so grandiose with everything? I mean, it's like everybody wants to be the multimillionaire when they're just a French fry bagger at McDonald's, you know, and that's not real. It's not reality. But yet we constantly strive for things that are out of our reality. And I don't get it. And we want to do that. We allow it to be that way. I mean, how many people go around because they can't get the things they want to make them feel satisfied, which usually is short-lived when you're just wanting and wanting. But how many people go around and then get depressed because they can't get what they want? They don't have enough money to achieve what they want materialistically out of life. They get depressed. They get anxiety. They get down on themselves, or maybe if you're married, you want to blame your spouse or say, oh, you need to do more, you need to make more because I want more. And you can make every excuse. You could say, well, I need a new couch because the other ones, cushions aren't comfortable anymore. And sure, I know, but if you really sit down and think about it, is it something you really, really need? And couldn't you just save over a year even to get a new couch? Couldn't you just put some money aside slowly and then achieve your goal? It's like this world is like turning people on each other. It just wants that type of drama. It creates that. I mean, just look around you. Relationships are all tattered and tarnished, and mostly it's because people want something. They have these expectations that this world has convinced you to create and believe in, and they're not real expectations. The expectation is way out of the ordinary. It's just not achievable, but yet people they just go, and then they just believe whatever is getting in their head. They'll end relationships. They'll tarnish relationships with their family. And it's mainly because of this excessive need and being given expectations that are not realistic. And so then we justify the bitter means that we put toward things, you know. Well, I deserve to, that guy didn't make enough money, so I want to leave him. Or my family, my mother should have done this, or my father, I'm going to blame him, or whatever it is. People do that. They'll start putting blame, and their expectations aren't met, and this is what happens. but this world is giving it to us. It's causing the problem. I don't know if anyone out there sees that the way I do, but it's the cause. And we're falling for it because we are so needy for more. We're seldom satisfied, and it knows we're easily manipulated because we're never satisfied. So how do you get around all that? How do you become satisfied? Well, like I said, you start realizing this is a fake world. It's some sort of construction. Our Bibles tell us it's a construction. Buddha tells you it's a construction, basically. And we need to find enlightenment, and through enlightenment we see the truth, right? And we raise our vibration to the higher ends, and we separate ourselves. The Bible, will tell you that it was created by God for people. So this is a construction. It's not real then. Everything tells you it's not real. All your Bibles tell you it's not real, but we constantly keep saying it is, and it's not. And whether you think it's a devil here causing the problems or not, the fact is, you got to know that it's not real and something is causing problems, and who it is, we got to separate ourselves from it. And once you know it's not a real place, it frees yourself to start thinking differently, making different choices, seeing problems differently, being less judgmental on all ends. Be less judgmental on people around you, but be less judgmental on yourself. And be less judgmental of this creation. You can start seeing it now. You can start seeing it new. At least for me, that's what helped me start letting go of a lot of baggage. Is once I realized this was just all made up, it let me know that there is more than likely something outside of here that I will go to at the time of my death, and I'll have some other experience at that point, whatever it is. But it seems that this is constructed, something constructed it, and I will go somewhere. I hope that that's the way it is. And if it's not, then it's not. But the thing is, it frees me from a lot of baggage. I don't carry any baggage. I carry almost zero weight nowadays. I used to carry a lot of baggage and weight, and now I don't think I carry anything. I just kind of go around. The only problem that I get is when other people create drama around me, and I have a choice to stay there and deal with it, be a part of it, or walk away from it. And when it's family, I let them know that they're creating drama that I don't need, and we need to stop that. Or I just walk away and just say, I'm done with that. And I don't go back to it. But it's freed me so much. It's taken the weight off of my shoulders. It's allowed me to transverse this world so much more lightly. It's almost in its own self a form of enlightenment. It's a step in evolution toward enlightenment, for sure. I don't know if it's going to be easy for others out there to find that and get there. So far, it doesn't seem like it, because you mentioned that this world is constructed, and typically it scares people and they don't want to hear it, and they think you're crazy. They just want to go back to the old storyline of, the storyline of excess, need, want, more. And they're always depressed and anxietied and troubled. I don't know. And I walk around and I'm not stressed. I'm not anxietied. I have no trouble. I just walk right through this world now. And I don't know how to convince others to do it, beside let you know that just look at the place around you. It's not real. It's not real in the sense that you always believed is real. The Bible tells you it's not real. Buddha tells you it's not real. All your religions tell you it's not real. So why do you give so much attention to it in the way that it can control your life? That's what people do. They allow it to control them. And everything tells us that it's not there to control us. We have that choice to look at it a certain way. Get a higher perspective and change your perception. And walk more freely through here. Nothing is as disastrous as you think most of the time. Most of the time. This place will give you disaster drama constantly, for sure. But the majority of, we have a great choice to do what we want. And to make it what we want. Just by having a higher perspective and getting a better perception on things. Just free yourself from the matrix. Start making the choose your own adventure the way you want it to be. Don't let this world convince you that that's the only way it is. It's given us a story that we've been following for so long and been teaching our kids to follow. It's just been regurgitated and it's getting worse out there. And we have a choice. We do. We have a choice on how we're going to get through this place. And we have a choice to teach our children a new way of looking at things, a new way of seeing the world and seeing ourselves, a new way of taking care of ourselves. But you don't have to be afraid if it's not a real world that you thought it was. It's okay. You're here. And you there's things to get done and things to do and joy to be found. And we have that choice. That's our choice. Don't let the world dictate how you find happiness. This is all up to you. Talk to you guys later.